Everybody, it's Kyle Daniels with Vista Sotheby's International Realty bringing you the weekly update for Friday, April 15, 2022. It's all coming together today. We have Good Friday, Passover, and Tax Day. So all of you that are celebrating, the Catholic or Christian and Jewish traditions have a great celebration. And if you're a tax procrastinator, the good news is you actually have until Monday to file your taxes, so you have all weekend to get your taxes done. Now let's talk about South Bay real estate for the past week. We saw similar things that we saw the week before, so nothing too exciting this past week, but a couple notable things. Go into the numbers and I'll point out what I find interesting as always. We have 92 new listings this week, which is a very slight uptick from the week prior. Again, I like to see over 100 because when we get into new escrows, we had 105 new escrows, which actually dropped from last week. We had 115 last week, but we made up for that in closed sales with 115 closed sales. So again, those two numbers that I like to focus on, we have more escrows and closed sales than we have new listings, which means we're still losing inventory as time goes on. We did pick up a few that fell out of escrow from the week before. So we have 8 back on the market, and then we had 14 price reductions. As far as those new sales, now I noticed this earlier in the week for those that watched the Hill report for Palos Verdes, but we're seeing a little decrease in the overbid situation for homes. So this past week, on average, we only had homes sell for about $100,000 over asking. Now, I say that kind of funny because we're still seeing homes sell over asking. In fact, again, we had out of the 115 sales, 96 of them sold at or over the asking price, and most of those were the over the list price. So where are we seeing price reductions? Well, we also like to track how many homes are selling that luxury market over $3 million. We had 9 homes sell over $3 million, but interestingly enough, there were 5 of those, the top 5 from 3.4 million all the way up to the 8 million range. We saw price reductions in those most expensive homes this week. Now, most of those price reductions weren't huge. They're about $100,000 to $200,000. A few a little less, or one or two less, one or two more. But just to give you some context, we were seeing, early in the year, 15, 18 homes selling over 3 million. So I'm not quite sure if it's just lack of inventory because there's still a few expensive homes out there for sale, or if we're just seeing a slight pullback. Again, we've had spring break. We've got we're going into a holiday week here. Most of these did go into escrow a while ago, but we are seeing some tiny signs of slowing. Now, what's going to also contradict what I just said, I had a listing that went out last week, 4041 Via Pima. We ended up with multiple offers and got an all-cash great offer that was significantly over that $100,000 over asking average. So we're still seeing some great properties sell way over the asking price. I expect that to continue with this percentage that's actually selling over. And again, we had the median days, 7 days for homes to go into escrow, 15 on average. That's still a very low number. Remember, pre-pandemic, homes were it was common to see them sit on the market for 3 or 4 weeks before they went into escrow. So now these, tight listing, list it, open house, offers due, counter offers, and into escrow takes about 7 days. So you really can't sell a home much faster unless somebody just takes it all cash offer and walks away from it or doesn't fuss with the whole multiple bid situation. So what's my advice? Well, it's about the same. If you've listened to me, you could probably tune out now because I've told you the same thing. If you're a buyer, you got to get all your stuff in a row. I've seen some great strategies that are working for buyers that are serious and want to commit, but you have to be about 110% committed to buying a property. If you're kind of on the fence, this is a tough market because there's usually somebody willing to give up, transfer risk from the seller and take it on the buyer's shoulders. If you're a seller, meet with a lot of sellers recently, it is truly one of the better times we've seen, and I've said that a lot, but what's happened now is we have rising interest rates. Before, we were in this fairly stable time, if you'll call stable the last 2 years, but we're seeing a lot of volatility in the market that's affecting interest rates. The Fed's not buying mortgage-backed securities at the same rate. In fact, they're getting rid of them off their balance sheet. And as a result, we're seeing mortgage rates rise. You can still get a jumbo about 4%. If you're looking for a conforming loan at a lower rate or a lower amount, you're going to pay a higher rate. That's a whole nother story. But the jumbo loans are the most competitive loans out there. So if you're getting a loan over $1 million, which is mostly the homes in this area, but if you're buying a smaller townhome, that might not be the case. Jumbo rates are still historically very low. But we are in a rising rate environment. At some point, it's going to start to take more buyers out of the game. Right now, this week, we saw great numbers, but looking ahead, that's what I'd be concerned about if I was a seller. That's it. Hopefully you hung in here this far so I can wish you a happy holiday weekend. And if you have any questions, please reach out. And as always, I appreciate the opportunity to present this update for you each week. Have a great weekend. Bye.